Good morning, football fans, and welcome to a Monday edition of the Big D podcast. Before I introduce today's special guest, two things. One, happy birthday to my mother, and two, please subscribe, like, comment, share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. Well, you never know what to expect. It might be football, it might be golf, or in this case, it might be football, only this time it's NFL. So now please welcome NFL writer and Green Bay Packer enthusiast, Jesse. Jesse, it's interesting about the Packers because you think like the last couple of years they've been close to the Super Bowl, but just can't get over the hump.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, we're right there, right? In the last couple of years, NFC Championship losses. Last year really hurt. 2 years ago, we got destroyed. So, but slowly but surely getting closer. But, hey, like there's nothing really to talk about this offseason. So we'll see where we're going from here.
Boring off season. I'm thinking like
Right.
the only thing boring was that first half against Tampa, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to talk about this offseason, was there? We did sign a long snapper, so we did bring in a free agent.
But again, when you think of Green Bay the last couple of years, the first thing I wonder is could the Packers have been more aggressive, not just with play calling, but maybe in free agency? I mean, yeah, you re-sign Aaron Jones, but you let a Pro Bowl center leave. You
Yeah,
didn't.
well, I think the money has to work too, right? We're so 2 years ago, 2 years ago, going to be three this season. Brought in two big, free agent pass rushers. Put a lot of money there. Brought in Billy Turner, Adrian Amos, who's playing really good. Brought those guys in. Everybody says Green Bay's always playing for the future. That was a win now moves. Those were big moves to win in this window, in the Aaron Rodgers window, right? Okay, yeah, didn't win, unfortunately. Trust me, unfortunately. But yeah, like this year, like you're saying, bring in guys. Well, who are you going to bring in? Lindsley got paid. Good for him. Great player. I hate to lose him. He's an all-pro center, really solid player. Had some back issues. We weren't going to be able to afford him. Frankly, I'm surprised we got Aaron Jones back because I thought he was going to get a bigger deal. Came back a little cheaper than what he probably could have got. But we're still tight with money. And yes, you can rework deals, which we did rework. Preston Smith, we kind of worked his money a little bit to free up some. The big hits right now, Aaron Rodgers, and what's he doing, right? Like what's I know. Let's get the elephant out of the closet here, right? That's where we're talking, but that's where hey, the Rodgers deal is the one that personally I think should be reworking. Don't have them in a lame duck year. Free up a little bit of money. But I think the roster's good. A lot of people are like, oh, they don't have all these receivers. Listen, number one offense in the league last year. We can score. The defense, we got young guys. We need everybody to step up, right? So, yeah, of course you want to make a splash play, but at what circumstance and what price? There's a few, trust me, there's some free agents where I'm like, man, I'd love those guys to be Green Bay Packers. But in reality, at what cost could we make it do it? Like I wanted Curtis Samuel if we weren't going to be able to keep Aaron Jones. Curtis Samuel got paid. So we kept Aaron Jones, right? The guy that we know, and great Packer, great teammate. So yes and no, like you're saying. Could you be more aggressive? Sure. It looks great when it works out, but it looks really bad when it doesn't. So it's a catch-22.
I think the problem that some people maybe in your neck of the woods could have is that Tampa basically brought back its entire Super Bowl roster. Kansas City not only kept a lot of its core, but added a bunch of key offensive linemen. I mean, of course, Green Bay's a little different. They're not run by the Rooney family or Bob
Right.
Kraft. They're run in many ways by the fans.
Right. Well, and yeah, Tampa Bay. They brought everybody back. They want to do it again, and a lot of it is look what they're paying Tom Brady. I mean, he's
Or not paying.
right, exactly. Like you're paying him less than guys like Kirk Cousins and stuff like that, and that frees up money, right? So, in that roster, everybody's like, "Oh, Tom Brady came in and changed everything." That was a great roster. You take Jameis Winston's 30-some interceptions out of it. That's the 11-win team 2 years ago. They're really good. And then you add Brady to the mix. That makes them better. So, listen, Green Bay, I think, is still a roster top 3 in the NFC. They're there. They have a good roster. David Bakhtiari getting hurt going into that Tampa Bay game. That hurt. Here you have an all-pro left tackle. You got to rework that line against that front seven against Tampa Bay. I mean, that's tough. And we were in the game. Take away Packer mistakes, not taking anything away from the Super Bowl champions. But Green Bay shot themselves in the foot plenty of times in that game. So I think the talent's there. You got to get it done. And it's 2 years in a row in big games. Our best players or the team, for whatever reason, didn't play their best game. And that's a problem.
Yeah, and so now we get into the real drama. Yeah, I don't know if you remember the show in the 90s, Where in the World is Carmen San Diego. In this case,
Yep.
Where in the world will Aaron Rodgers be this year? Because obviously last year won the MVP.
Right.
So consistent. Looked like the Aaron Rodgers of 2010, 2011 when you won the Super Bowl in Arlington. I mean, Rodgers and Devontae Adams practically looked unstoppable. It didn't matter if Jalen Ramsey or the whole defense covered him.
Right. Good question. Well, I think he's in Hawaii, to make it short, if that you want a short answer. But where is he going to be this year? If I had to put money on it, I think he's going to be back. I really do. The biggest thing is, which this is Green Bay stuff, like, the media will tell you all this and all that, and you'll hear, well, this is what he's doing. Listen, Green Bay is very tight-lipped. Aaron Rodgers is very tight-lipped. That guy doesn't leak a lot of stuff. So I think he'll be back. What he wants, that's all speculation because we don't know. Is there some problems? Could things be handled differently? Heck yeah, on both sides. Both sides, they could have handled this situation differently, but maybe they are. Me being the glass full instead of half full guy, I think he's going to be back. In the next 3 weeks, they got to work something out. Like, why wouldn't you want him back? Why wouldn't he want to be back? That's my questions. Like, listen, he's got his guys there. No matter where he goes for what trade, he's not going to have a better opportunity to get back to the NFC AFC Championship, wherever he wants to go. All the speculation with Denver will do this and give this. Well, Green Bay is not giving them away for nothing. So we're going to want players and draft stock. And you put them in that division? Is that an easier route to the AFC Championship game when you have to play Kansas City twice, a young San Diego team, and then you got other good teams in that division? In the AFC. So I don't know. I see him back in Green Bay, but I wouldn't be surprised if something else happened too. But I would say Green Bay.
You think there's any chance Rodgers would just simply retire and become the full-time Jeopardy host? I mean, that is a pretty decent gig.
And God, I don't even want to think about it, but I could see it. Listen, the guy has made his money. He's now engaged, looks really happy. He said he enjoyed the offseason. Maybe he just says, you know what? I know he's a competitor, so that's why I'll say no. But on the other side, yeah, it sounds like he loved the Jeopardy thing that he did, and looks like the job could be his if he wants it. Why the heck not? A lot less stressful, easier on the body. Already got the money. Like, I could see him do that too, but my gut says no, not yet.
So if Green Bay decided A, we'll trade Aaron Rodgers, or B, Rodgers just retires and becomes a full-time Jeopardy host, A, is Jordan Love ready to be the full-time starter? And B, how would this impact Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Robert Tanya, and the whole Packer team?
Is Jordan Love ready? That's a great question. I don't think anybody knows, right? We haven't. Last year, with the COVID and everything, he missed an off season. They said he wasn't ready. Listen, the arm talent and the skill is there. Jordan Love is skilled. He's got all the tools. Now, that doesn't mean nothing if you can't put it all together on the field, right? You still have to be able to read defenses, go through all your progressions, all that stuff. That said, I think Matt LaFleur sets this offensive up where he can be successful. Of course, he's not Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm not here to say, oh, yeah, just put in Jordan Love and we're going to have another Hall of Fame quarterback and, Super Bowls. No, I don't think he's ready like that. But I think we can still win games. As far as Devontae Adams, he's a soldier, man. Like he said, he's here to play. He's here. He wants to stay in Green Bay. Of course, money talks. You lose – this is his last year on his contract. No Aaron Rodgers, I think matters. I mean, why wouldn't it? It's going to be your last big contract. And, hey, you could play with anybody in the league that you kind of want that's going to throw you money, or do you want to try to rebuild with a new quarterback? That might cost a little bit more, right? It might, okay, put a few more millions on that then. So Aaron Jones, I don't think that kid cares, man. If you talk about a pro's pro, that guy's there every practice. He even when all the other starters left 2 weeks ago from OTAs, he was there every day working. He said, hey, I'm here to work. So I don't care if he played with a Pee Wee football team, that guy's going to be there. And that's why I love him. So, as far as the offense, I think it changes a lot. Aaron Rodgers out there, he's a field general, right? Like that guy's smart. He sees everything. Jordan Love isn't going to pick up all the stuff he sees. So it's going to be a little bit more if this isn't their run or something like that. So I think the offense would be kind of watered down a little bit. But, hey, Matt LaFleur is pretty good. I think he's a good schemes guys open. So we'll see. It would be interesting. Not say I would like it, but it'd be interesting.
Plus, you look at the NFC North, and it's not exactly full of great quarterbacks because Lord knows what Kirk Cousins will do. Jared Goff in Detroit, well, I think you could run routes with the Lions. And goodness knows what happens with the Bears. I mean, everybody's excited about Justin Fields, but
he's a rookie. Yeah. He's still a rookie. Yeah. I think he's got good upside, but he's kind of like where Jordan Love is right now. All the skill, but you don't know. Kirk Cousins, he puts up nice numbers. Is he terrible? No. Is he good? Great? Probably not. Can he win a playoff game? I don't think so. So, you know what I mean? The time to take it is now, right? I think Green Bay's window is now because I think the Bears can get better. They're all these teams are growing. So right now you have to go for it. And even with Jordan Love, I still like the Packers' odds of winning the division. But I think you take a big step back when you see the Tampa Bays of the world and teams like that. You need Aaron Rodgers.
And so now we've switched from Aaron Rodgers to the Packers' schedule this year, and by golly, your schedule is one word: brutal. Because not only do you face the AFC North, but you get the NFC West, and for bonus, how about for a 17th game this year, you get the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah.
In Arrowhead, no less.
Right. Hey, you got to beat the guy in front of you, right? That's the thing when it comes out, everybody's like strength of schedule. Well, that changes by how the season goes, but there's good teams on there. The Ravens are good. I think the Browns are a really good football team. And then, out west, the Niners are going to be way better than last year, getting guys back. The Rams are going to be good. And Arizona is a scary team. Like, there's good football. Who did I forget out there? Oh, Seattle's still around. Like, there's a lot of good football teams. It's a who's who schedule, but hey, you play the team in front of you, and that's what you got to do. So, but it ain't going to be easy for sure.
Yeah. So, you really think there's one game? Obviously, the Kansas City Seattle games, the opening game in the Superdome will be fascinating. Do you think there's one game that Packer fans will maybe overlook and maybe underestimate?
That's a good question. Well, I don't want to ever say like division games because we play them. It doesn't matter. Throw the records out because I kind of think we looked past Minnesota last year. Maybe it doesn't matter if the fans do or not, but I think the Packers did last year and we took that lump at home. But that's a great question. Let me think. I would think Arizona, I think, is a team that if you let them hang around, they're going to be tough. If they get Chandler Jones back, you add him with J.J. Watt on that defense, which the only questions are really, at corner. But that offense can score. That is one game where I'm like, this could be a good game, or if you let them jump on you, it could get ugly because I think they have that kind of power.
And a couple of things. One, it's a short week. Two, Green Bay's traveling from Wisconsin to Arizona.
Yep. And we know our West Coast travel.
And three, I'm not saying the Packers players will remember, but it's been State Farm Stadium has been a place where anything can and has happened to your Packers.
Oh man, thanks for reminding us. Yeah, but not just that. It's all West Coast. Every time in the Matt LaFleur era actually, going to San Francisco, stuff like that, it doesn't fare out well. So yeah, short week, heading to Arizona. Right. I think that's it's going to be a grinder of a game.
Yeah, just hope we don't have fake referees again.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember the Hail Mary game in Seattle, right?
Oh man, that was a touchdown. I don't know what they're talking about there, but
touchdown. That was an interception.
Well, according to them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like I remember Mike Tirico and John Gruden saying like number 43 caught the ball for the Packers.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. I guess if you just catch the guy with the ball, I don't know. There's so many things with Seattle. We don't even need to get into some of the heartbreak with Seattle. I'll tell you what.
What is it? Tie goes to the runner. In this case, tie goes to the person who not only didn't catch the ball, but actually, if you look at the play closely, I think Golden Tate might have pushed off, but that's just me from a neutral standpoint.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was a lot of hand jockeying going on. All those Hail Marys and last throws, like they never throw the flag. All game long, you can't even breathe on a guy. And then when you do something like that, it's like, yeah, just whatever. We'll let them do what they want to do. It's like a basketball jump ball. So,
although there was no PI when DeAndre Hopkins caught his Hail Mary in Glendale last year.
Right? Yeah, never. But
so now we get to a fascinating point, and you wrote an interesting article. Right, saying the top 10 Packers season, and number one's fascinating to me because I thought you would have one of the Super Bowl years, but number one on your list is 1962. That year, the Packers beat a legendary New York Giant team for the NFL Championship with the late Frank Gifford. Why 62?
Okay, first of all, I wasn't alive back then, so it's not like I have fond memories of these 60 Packers teams. But just doing research with my partner from Full Press Coverage, Kyle Senra, just doing research and looking at all these seasons. When we talked about greatest seasons, it probably wasn't like, okay, yeah, obviously you had to win a title, right? We did top 10. Green Bay has 13 titles. You had to win it all, right? So that mattered. But at the same time, I think it's like you look at the dominance of the team, the players on the team. In that 62 team, point differential, don't quote me, it's not in front of me, but it was like well over 200 points differential. It was the highest one they had. That's insane. Like they were – I think the defense was holding opponents to like 3 points a game, 3 to 7 points a game, something like that, and they're scoring like 20-something. Like that's insane. How they just separated from the rest, and of course they still had a loss, crazy to the Lions actually, but it just looks how dominating that team was. They had 11 future Hall of Famers on that team. They were loaded, and they were all in their prime too, because you get the Super Bowl seasons coming in 3 and 4 years from now. From then, a lot of the same players were there, but they were getting older. So I think that was the best version of those 60 Packers teams was the 1962 season.
Yeah, because you look at the stats from that 62 Packer team, in both Stall 13-1, completed 62.5% of his passes, 12 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. But remember, the Green Bay was not really a throwing team, and you could literally hand check a little more. Jim Taylor rushed for over 1,400 yards. I mean, and you look at the defense, one of my favorite players ever, Ray Nitschke, was 26. I mean, you imagine facing Ray Nitschke in his prime?
Right. Scary dude, man. He looked like he was probably 45 already, and just battle hardened. But yeah, that team was just full of mean dudes that wanted to kick your butt every week. No, I don't want to face Ray Nitschke in his prime, to answer your question.
Yeah, you imagine how many penalties he would get nowadays.
Oh man, yeah, he wouldn't even make it through a half a season. They'd have him suspended, But that was the game back then, man. Everybody played like that, and just they came out and they wanted to kick your teeth in, and they did. That team was so loaded all around. Like there's so much talent on that team, Yeah, that's why it was number one on our list. I think other seasons, if you talk about just excitement and stuff, that 2010 Super Bowl run, yeah, that team was the only team in history. Also, for a little fact on, they're the only team ever to never be down by more than one score the whole season. So every single game they were within 7 points. That's amazing. Like that, and they barely got in the playoffs. They shouldn't even got in the playoffs. And then they run the table. So
that 2010 Packer team was the one, because I remember Lovie Smith played everybody that game in a meaningless contest. Mm-hmm. Everyone said, "Why are you playing your stars?" And now looking back on it, thinking, I didn't want Green Bay in the playoffs because Aaron Rodgers could kick us all butts.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, we got to think Deshaun Jackson running back that punt to end the game. That's what got us in the playoffs. I think they were playing the Giants. If I'm right,
Miracle at the Meadowlands 2.0.
Right. Yeah, and that shoot us in. We needed that win, and that got us into the playoffs, and the rest is history. But phenomenal run. I mean, and that's what a lot of people were saying too. How can you not have that 2010 team? I think they deserve. They're top three. As far as fun, that was the most fun season, I think, for me, because the other ones, well, I don't know, 96 was pretty amazing too, but I was younger. But that team was special for sure.
I'm trying to think of a good trivia question for you.
Uh-oh. You're going to put me on the spot.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of one. I think I've got one. You may not want to remember this play. I think it was either 2004 NFC Division Round or Championship. I don't know, but 4th and 26. Do you remember?
Oh my God! Why would you do that to me? I was actually living in Green Bay at the time. Man, that team was loaded. We should have never lost that season either, man. And Leroy Butler, who should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
If not for his neck injuries, right?
Well, that was Sterling, right? Yeah, Sterling Sharp. But Leroy Butler was a safety on that play. 4th and 26. I have a few Philly fans that remind me that very often still. That was painful. And that team was so loaded. Mon Green was a monster. That team was just so good. And they did, that was divisional round. Not even the. Go ahead.
Was Donald Driver on that team?
Sure. Well, yeah, super young. Young driver. Javon Walker was on that team. I think he had 12 touchdowns that season. He had a huge year, I think, or maybe the year before. But good defense. Yeah, just ouch. That wasn't a trivia question. You were just picking on me.
No, I was just wondering how. Actually, Javon got 9-03 and 12-04.
Wow, I did remember that kind of.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not. I mean, my trivia is not just related to football, but all sports. I am a trivia nerd.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so I wish you Packers well this year, and hopefully you can create some more memories, and maybe Aaron Rodgers can create his own Hollywood script this year.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, man. There only one team could win, right? So it just hurts when you always get so close. So hopefully this year gets some. We'll definitely make memories. I mean, that's why I love this game. But hopefully, everything smooths out in a few weeks, and Aaron Rodgers is back, and everybody's happy in Wisconsin and Green Bay Nation.
And one more thing, go Pack, go!
Yes, sir. Go Pack, go!